All right, we are live, everybody. I am excited to be doing a live because I haven't done a live in a long time, and today I'm specifically talking to business owners, right? If you're a service company and you deal with either the fear of running your business, the scarcity behind running your business, worrying about your profitability, the pain that comes with business, this is for you. That's what I'm talking about today. And where I'm going with that is these are all the things, that not knowing where the next job is, not having someone to be able to relate to, because as a business owner, they say a lot of times it can be a very lonely place. And this can be true, right? Because people can't relate to you all of the time. You are in this world where you're risking so much stuff, and a lot of people are just telling you, hey, you should have a 9-to-5, hey, you should have a normal job. And so someone that's never ran a business, someone that's never needed to really facilitate everything that was coming to them themselves, like being so self-reliant to run a business, they aren't going to be able to really talk to you or help you with the issues that are going to come up in business, right? And so that's why they say being an entrepreneur can be such a lonely thing, because you don't have anybody to relate to. And then when you go through the things I was just mentioning that I want to focus on, that pain and that fear, those scarcities, that trying to be profitable, that trying to make money, am I doing the right things? Is there going to be enough sales? Are there all these things? Are they going to be there, right? This is what it's like to have a business. And then to have people around you. They say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. So if you spend the most time around people that are overweight, you're more than likely going to be overweight. If you spend time around all your friends smoke, you're most likely going to smoke or drink. You get where I'm going here, right? And so if you don't spend your time around other people running a business and doing it well, then the chance of you trying to go out and do that even becomes harder, because you have no one to bounce ideas off of or talk to. I remember when I started, when I would talk to people that didn't run businesses, they just didn't, my thoughts were so weird to them because they could not relate. So that's where this video comes in. Today we're talking about how GROW Comm, my coaching group, is going to be open. I'm just going to leave it open a little bit longer. I don't know, a week, a couple weeks. And I wanted to put that on YouTube because we've done a horrible job about even mentioning, other than 1 or 2 stories, that I've opened that up, right? And so with all of that being said, GROW Comm, you can go and join. You can do that at jacobgodar.com, and you can just go to join. It'll let you in right now. And in that group, the things you're going to get that are going to help you deal with those fears, that worry about profit, the pain of running a business, is number 1, we're going to have weekly calls on Friday every week. It might move around a little bit if we have a big event like UPW or something this week, but we're going to have weekly calls. We're going to go over the basics of making your business better, improving your business, all these things that can help your company. And then we're also just going to talk about employment and profitability and knowing your numbers, sales, all those things that will help you. Those are going to be calls. Outside of that, I also bring in other professionals, from marketing to other business owners, specifics, to help probably at least once a quarter into the group on those calls as well. From there are all the courses we're implementing. We have landscape courses, we have sales courses. We are going to be working on a new estimating course. We have a quick brief design course. We have all these little pieces where we go above and beyond and try to show people how to do things that have worked for us. We have a landscape lighting course, because for our company it's been very successful, and it's something that I feel like everybody should at least look at as a service company in the lawn and landscape industry. And so that's all stuff that's there to share with you. Now also, it's going to have all the calls forever that we've ever done that you can go and revisit. And a lot of these, if you go through and you're really down and out, if you go to the mindset calls, those are going to be helpful for when you're feeling the most stressed, you're feeling the most pressured, because business isn't always easy. You see that line graph of, oh, we're killing it, and then you feel like you're going to fail, and then we're killing it, I feel like I'm going to go bankrupt, and then we're killing it, I'm going to lose it all. That's like the trajectory of business. It's like the stock market. Everybody freaks out that it goes up and down. Well, if you were to draw a line from the beginning to the end, it's a smooth upward trip, right? But that's not life. That's not the market. That's not business. That's not anything that you're growing. It's not just a smooth, beautiful line, right? It's a rough, jagged thing that has its radical ups and downs. It's a little bit of a roller coaster. So that's some of the stuff. The other pieces besides courses is going to be all of our templates, right? A lot of our email documents, all of these pieces that you can just plug and play that has been beneficial for us. That's all available to everyone in the group. All of our sheets, our Google Sheets, some of our other documentation, our handbook, our operating manual, pieces that we are continuously developing in our company. Another one that I'm really excited about is that we put our job costing Excel tool in there. It's a little purpose for Service Autopilot, but shown in the group of how you can use it for anything. It's still very straightforward. We're going to be further developing that. We're also going to be further developing our knowing your numbers, basically your budgeting tool, because we're getting to that time, right, where we're getting to the end of the year and you're starting to realize, did I win? Did I lose? Did I kick ass, or do we just totally upset? I once heard Keith Cunningham say, people look at the profit and loss at the end of the year or end of the quarter or whatever the time is, and they go down to the bottom, and if it's in the black, they say the bottom decides how many drinks you have, right? So if it's in the black, meaning you make money, you have a drink. If it's in the red, meaning you lost money, you might have several drinks, right? It's just an indicator of, are we actually celebrating, or are we trying to drown our sorrows? And so all of these pieces are to try and help you avoid the pitfalls, you shoot through these painful things. And specifically with numbers and budgeting and all of those pieces, we're getting into the time of year where knowing your numbers to try to clean up whatever you've done this year if there's been problems, or be even better than you already were this year if you didn't know your numbers that well, that's gonna pay dividends in 26, in 27, in 28. Because in your company, just like all of it, you're doing financially well, that's gonna ebb and flow. You're gonna kill it, and then you might lose. And then you're gonna kill it, and you might lose. And specifically because so many different levels of business require different things, right? If you start your company and your goal is to do 100,000 sales, that's freaking amazing. But that's different than $500,000. And $500,000 is different than $1 million. And specifically $500,000 to $1 million, you start hiring people that don't truly produce hours, right? They start becoming overhead people. And that's a very scary time, because a lot of times you got to hire people. It's going to be this transitional zone that you want to plow through, because there's not really hardly enough to afford them, but we got to have them to get here. So how do we get there, right? Like all of these pieces are things that you want to account for, that you want to prepare for, that you want to know are coming. And you also want to have other people to talk to and relate to. So the group outside of that is a network of people that you can relate to, that you can talk to, that you can ask your problems. Just like a group question that I saw the other day, and is how many office people for however many millions of sales, because that's a good point, right? You only can have so much admin staff for X amount of sales. You can have only so much percent of revenue be to your management and to your admin, or there won't be any other money, right? Like it all goes down from the top. You create revenue, you have all of your cost of goods sold, right? Then that's going to give you your gross profit. And now everything else may consume that, specifically if you're spending too much in your office. And it can be really, really easy to rev up and get office people to do all these things, anticipating growth, not right size the company and not have the growth. And before you know it, you're losing money. You're having problems, you're struggling. So that's what this group is specifically for, is to help you get through all of those things, to help you use all those pieces to have better profits, to have less pain, to have less fear. And let's be honest with this. Let's be honest. You're gonna have fear. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It's more of a support system for that, because welcome to the game. If you're worried about how scared you are, that's a part of it. You wouldn't be doing anything if you weren't somewhat fearful. That would actually be the indicator that you're not doing anything at all. You're not doing shit, because it should be somewhat scary. You are taking a risk. Easy things in life just don't have much risk. There's nothing to be afraid of, because there's really not much of a bad outcome. The more risk, the more reward, but the more prepared, the more you can have better outcomes, right? So this is all about preparation, because there's so many things I didn't know when I started out. And I did feel like we were doing great. We were making so much ground, but I look back at us doing 100, 250, $500,000, million in sales. I didn't know anything. And I know that the 10 million and 20 million, 50 million, $100 million version of me running a company will look back at me now and say, I don't know anything. And that's how you should all feel. That's how we should all feel all the time. That's why we should be so open to, and we get to be so open to mentorship, because it is a lifelong process of continuous education to have success in anything. There's no stagnance. There's no just staying here and it being okay. You need to continue to develop. You need to continue to seek new outcomes, new answers, new problems. These new problems create new opportunity. So, again, signing off here, but GROW Comm is open. You go to jacobgodar.com, join GROW Comm. You can submit your information right there and get set up. Would love to have you in the group. This group is about growing your service business. It is about helping you scale. It's about helping you avoid the pitfalls, the fears, the struggles that I have went through. And I've went through so much fucking pain. And I continue to do it because I know that being on the front end of I'm gonna grow this thing, there's gonna be a lot of pain. And I'm always looking for the people down the road that have avoided some of this when I'm in a struggle as well. And this is me reaching out and saying, hey, here's my hand, come on with me. Here's some ideas that are gonna help you get through some of those problems. So the group's gonna be open for a little bit longer. If you'd like to join, jacobgodar.com. Love to see you there. And I appreciate you watching this video. And I also really appreciate that you, if you're watching this because you're a business owner, that you're out there and you're giving it your all, even if you haven't even got started, even if you haven't even sold your first thing. It is scary, but it is awesome. And it's so commendable that you would go out and you would start a business, because it will be you that changes your family's financial situation or whatever that is, for taking those risks that maybe no one else in your family ever has. So myself, I am proud of you, and I look forward to meeting you soon.